Look at that. He's saying we shouldn't raid with pants on. That's all I got out of that.
Yeah. So mages, you're gonna be precasting on a lot of the pools because you can blow up one mob pretty much with 5 pyros, and that's the fun part. The PTR is a little different probably from live with the ranging, but for the most part, most things will be precastable on pool.
Yeah,
So we're
it's
gonna
good to have the hunters and warlocks going on that precast too, if you can time them.
Yeah, so we're gonna do pool timers for everything, just to get everything lined up. Because that's the easiest thing to do. So we'll face the ads away from the raid, as you can see, all the range in the back, and then the tank will take his mob to the other side with the main healers. Every 10 to 15 seconds after that, corpse explosion is going to be cast, which actually just spawns corpse scarabs. Those just need to be AoE down. They should die pretty quick. They don't have too much health. But once we get to the boss, there's a couple things about the boss. He casts Impale, which is, if anyone's played Warcraft 3, it's just an impale in a line. It'll hit people within 5 yards of the target and hit everyone in that line, so you want to spread out. I'll show you positioning in a moment. He also does a knock-up that won't kill you, but it'll do some damage. You see here all the melee are going to be spread out behind him, and then range are going to be spread out over here across the room. The real main mechanic of this fight is Locust Swarm, which you'll cast starting somewhere between 70 to 120 seconds, and it's an AoE spell. If you played Warcraft 3, it's an AoE spell that hits everyone within 30 yards. It'll prevent all abilities from being used if you're hit by it. So if you look at our diagram, the way we counter this is we're going to have the tank pop a swiftness potion and run around the edge of the room. See if I pull this out. The first one we'll use a swiftness pot. The second one we're probably going to need to use a hunter with pack. He'll also spawn a crypt card. But if you can see over here, the warrior is actually running on the outer rim of the room. When he casts Locust Swarm, he's going to be moving at about 40% movement speed, so it's really easy to outrun him. And by the time you get all the way to the other side, Locust Swarm is usually over with, and you just keep repeating that until he's dead. But you want to make sure that you're far away from the boss during this phase, as you can't even Divine Shield through it, and you're probably going to die. Overall, this is probably one of the
You can't Divine Shield through really Locust Swarm?
Take and spank.
You can't use Divine Shield to get out of Locust Swarm?
No. Prevents all abilities, even immunity abilities. But it's a 30-yard range, so if you've seen the diagram I posted, as long as you're in that safe zone on the right while he's being kited, you won't be hit by it. And the tank shouldn't need heals because he's outrunning the Locust Swarm. And then once you get to the other side, we just keep going back and forth.
There is one item you can use that can prevent it, but it's like a one-time use and you'll never see it again. It's that quest in
like
Shara.
Balloon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine,
like clutch save the raid one day, you know.
This is not the fight you need to use that for. It's a very preventable damage. That's like, don't use it on this fight. Does anyone have any questions on this fight?
No, kite him back and forth.
Pretty much it's always kill the ads and the boss.
I think we'll one-shot this one.
He doesn't hit hard either. It's just make sure you don't face the ads into the raid and cleave all the melee down. That would wipe us probably. Don't ignore the spawns. That'll also probably wipe us because all our healers will die.
I guess the only question I have is, do you want me or Saf to do the runaround?
I'll probably have both of you. For the first one, you don't need to actually do anything because I'm going to swiftness pot it. And then,
right, but we have to be in the same party, and
yeah,
you know, missing out on that buff for our melee DPS is pretty significant.
Yeah.
So
I'll probably
true, but our tanks like that buff too.
Yeah, threat. I take it for myself with a druid buff, as all the melee know.
Yeah, I don't mind a druid buff.
Hey, what's Krius doing in here? He's not allowed in here. Go do your own research. All right. No one asked questions. I'm gonna move on to Farolina, which has a little.
Which hunter though?
I'm probably gonna have Saf do it first week.
Okay.
Then you can provide DPS with the buff. If you want to switch over to the Farolina tab,
So do you want the druids in DPS mode?
yeah, druids will be in DPS for that fight.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I'll have druids in DPS form, and then I'll just have Oster and Mallow probably off tanking. Oster's in Sweden, so I think he'll be here Thursday. I'm not sure, but I'll let you know.
Okay.
And Tivon is still, I think he's caught up with family, so we'll see.
So one quick question: if we just like blow through these two wings you want to go through, do you want to try and attempt the other wings?
The goal probably is going to be Zerg Spider, Zerg Plague, and then we'll probably do Vesuvius, and then Gothic, and we'll just see how much time we have.
Okay.
Because I'd rather do patchwork when we have full buffs, just to give healers a little bit more room and leeway for the Hateful Strike. All right, Farolina. So Farolina starts with 6 ads. 2 of them are followers. 4 of them are worshippers. The followers are just kind of fillers. They just get killed immediately. You can just stack them up with the boss and cleave. The worshippers are the more important ad. Farolina goes in rage every 60 seconds, as well as casts Rain of Fire and Poison Volley. The Rain of Fire is whatever, it doesn't do too much, but the Poison Volley is like Visitus. It will stack up and do a lot of damage, so you probably want to pop a Greater Nature Protection pot for this, as well as carry a couple Elixir of Poison Resistance. The worshippers, why they're important in this fight, is they have an ability called Sacrifice, which removes Farolina's Enrage and silences her for 30 seconds. The way we're doing this fight is we're going to kill the first 2 followers, and then we're going to sacrifice the first worshipper 20 seconds into the fight. I don't know if Ultimate will be there Thursday. If not, we'll have shows to it, but he'll MC a worshipper, sacrifice him at 20 seconds so that the raid does not take Poison Volley for 30 seconds. We will then MC the next worshipper at 50 seconds and sacrifice him at the 60-second mark after he enrages. It's really important you sacrifice after the enrage goes off. It dispels the enrage only if it's already on the boss. If she's not enraged and you sacrifice, you've just wasted a worshipper, and she will kill the tank while she's enraged. She hits very hard. I believe we'll probably burn her down in the first 2 to 3 worshippers. I'm not too concerned, but it's just about controlling ads, making sure she doesn't enrage and kill the tanks, and that's the fight. We're not gonna, I don't think you can pre-pull here, but just an example of the positioning. I'm just gonna keep the worshippers right by the boss. Boss will just be tanked on the platform, and all the reindeer are gonna be spread out on the lower part. Simple enough? Or does anyone have any questions? Worshippers don't hit for much, so we're probably going to have 1 to 2 tanks tanking all 4. I think I have Jade on them, but
Do you have backup
they
tanks?
don't
Just
hit hard.
do you have backup tanks just in case? I'm assuming you do.
Anyone have any questions?
As far
And
as the
it's like-
worshippers, go ahead.
I was just gonna say all DPS is just basically on the boss. You don't burn down the worshippers.
Correct. So first you kill the 2 followers, and then all DPS on the boss.
Yeah, cool.
You don't want to kill the worshippers. You want to make sure that whoever's mind controlling them sacrifices each one.
Is the sacrifice a cast or is it an AoE? Do they have to be within a certain range of the boss?
Yeah, like right next to them.
Okay.
Fairlena's pretty easy from what I've seen. Just gotta make sure to not stand in rain of fire and minimize the poison volleys and don't let her enrage and wall up on the tank.
Who's going to be tanking the boss that fight? You
Yeah, I'll be taking the boss.
with your Joe War.
Yep. Well, no, this is a boss that you can probably dual wield, so it's not too big a deal. I'll just switch
poor
to shield.
Peppe.
I'll probably switch to shield at the 55-second mark, just in case enrage goes off for a little too long. But she doesn't hit hard outside of enrage.
Well, we'd probably give you a shield if we didn't think you were going to vendor it, buddy. You don't use shields. Come on now.
I rarely use a shield. But in Naxx, I will use a lot of shields. Alright, my X now.
Oh yeah.
This is the best GDKP boss in the instance. Just saying. Couple things on this boss. The positioning is very important. I'm gonna face him to the west side of the cave because she has a frontal cone that does a lot of damage. So to avoid that, we just take him in that position, and it's to counter the web spray mechanic. Every 40 seconds, every 20 seconds, she'll use a web wrap. Well, starting at 20 seconds, she'll use a web wrap. She'll send 3 random people to the wall right behind the west side of the room. I have 5 people assigned to web target priority. They must be freed immediately, otherwise they will die.
Yeah, it's
Oh
just,
yeah, I'm on that list.
they don't have a whole lot of health. We should be
No,
able
they
to blow
don't.
through them really quickly.
Yeah, like one multi-shot, a couple searing pains, scorches, they'll be gone.
Yeah.
It's really quick. That's why you have hunters usually. A couple mages, fire blast.
Yeah, Scorch Fire Blast.
The real important mechanic in this fight is one, the necrotic poison. It's a 90% healing reduction. That has to be removed immediately. So abolish poison needs to stay on main tank pretty much the entire fight. And especially right before web spray, every 40 seconds, my Exna is going to incapacitate the entire raid and do about 2,000 nature damage. During that incapacitation, no one can do anything. No heals, no nothing. So we have to load the tank up with all hots right before, as well as abolish poison. What usually will wipe a raid is a necrotic poison on the main tank during web spray. And you forget to abolish poison it, the tank's not going to get any heals, and then she chunks the tank for 2 4K crits back to back, and you're going to wipe. So I'll pop defensives right before each web spray, and then make sure abolish poison and all hots are ticking on that. Throughout the fight, she'll also summon some spiders, but those just need to be AoE down. The timing of this fight's also really important because she'll enrage at 30 seconds, or sorry, 30% like Huhuron, and she'll just start hitting like truck. If you push 30%, let's say 10 seconds before a web spray, you're gonna wipe. The whole raid's gonna wipe because you can't stop the damage and heal through it. So you really only want to push 30% right after a web spray ends, or with probably, just to be safe, 30 seconds or more. She should die like Huhuron pretty quickly, but just to be safe, we want to be very careful pushing. So make sure to listen to my DPS calls, when to push and when not to push. But it's really important that people that are web wrap are freed, Hots are ticking before web spray. Necrotic poison is under control. Ads are under control, and we don't push DPS at the wrong time.
Are you going to want the druids on cleanse duty the whole time?
No, Pooh should be able to handle it because there's no other poison damage that goes out except for that necrotic poison. So as long as you keep up abolish poison, and there's no one taking really much raid damage outside of web wrap. But I'll show you an example of web spray. Just wait for it.
Yeah, Fox can help with that too.
Awesome.
I want to know how you get on the back of him to attack him, like the video.
Yeah, you see how the boss is facing the east side of the room? I have a little diagram in our DB Naxx sheets, but he'll be in the center facing the east side of the room. DPS will be behind him on the west side, and then the web targets are going to be right behind the range on the left side.
Yeah, but you see the Blizzard introductory video for Naxx? The warriors are literally jumping on the back of Naxx.
Aren't they? I mean, they're incapacitated right now, so they can't really jump. I mean, if you watch Jump Viscidus, that's the way. So yeah, here's web spray. Everyone can't do anything. Tank has to be haunted with everything to survive. She on the PTR was hitting for about 3 to 4K if it crushed your crit. So there is a chance you can get double crushinged and maybe triple and just die.
Can a pally bubble out of it?
No, can't do anything. Everyone's stuck.
Blizzard finally gives paladins a raid they can do real damage, and then X-nays their shield from being useful.
All right.
Any questions? Alright, cool. We're gonna go to Plague Wing next, so Knock.
Who'd you say?
Going to Knock the Plague Bringer. Excuse the whistling in the background.
It's better than a dog, just saying.
I notice an absence of a dog.
That's the whistling. It's a pressure cooker.
It is a.
That's what I was afraid of.
Oh, you know what's in there. Alright. Knock was another very easy fight. Here's a couple mechanics that need to be dealt with. But for the most part, the how it works is you're gonna pull him in a room. Very simple pull. Let's see if I can pull up. He's just standing in the middle of the room. Yeah, so he's just gonna be standing in the middle of the room, and we're just gonna walk in and pull him. The first ability that needs to be dealt with at this fight is called Curse of Plague Bringer. It is a curse that if you do not decurse it, it will hit everyone around the target as well as the target with Wrath of the Plaguebringer that does huge amounts of AoE, NR, and shadow damage to those people. If you do not decurse this, we will wipe. Hands down. So, mages, druids, you gotta look out for it. It's the one way to wipe on this fight. Like, the only way to wipe on this fight is not decursing that. So that has to be decursed. The second mechanic does is a blink. It's a complete threat wipe. So once he blinks, stop DPS. He'll also cast a cripple on the blink that just does annoying cripple stuff, so just dispel that. But he does it around 25 seconds. And you just want to stop DPS, let the tank pick it up, and then you can begin again. The main mechanic in this fight is he teleports upstairs to a balcony and starts summoning like tower defense spawns. After the first spawn, he'll just summon these 2 plague champions. They can be stunned, so there's really no big deal. After that, he'll summon the 2 plague champions plus more elites. And then after, the next phase will be the previous NPC elites as well as constructs. The boss should be dead by then, but just be aware it's like a tower defense. You got to kill all the waves of ads before he comes back down from the balcony. Something to note after he teleports up to the balcony, I'll show you in a second, is that he'll teleport down and he's going to be unhittable for a little bit. So you want to wait until he actually targets someone to start DPS, because if you don't wait, he's going to be immune and you just blow all your rage and cooldowns for no reason. But we'll control that teleport by all collapsing right before he teleports back to the middle, and he'll spawn there, let the tank pick it up, then just keep DPSing him. Throughout the fight, he's also going to have skellies spawning in the northeast, southeast, and southwest part, so we'll just have tanks assigned there to just pick them up. As you can see, the tanks are in position right now, and the ads don't really do much, just kill them and tank them. The only thing that can really wipe you on this fight is not decursing. The only thing. So I'll show you the first teleport. Everyone's just on the boss, just tanking. Ads don't really do much, so you just tank them for the most part. He'll teleport, and then that's when it has to start spawning. There's a plague champion. All you just need to do is control ads, make sure you decurse, and then DPS the boss, and you'll get loot. He does hit a little hard on PTR, but it's not something you. It's not too crazy, so healing shouldn't be too intensive. Any questions on Noth? Alright, cool. Hagen's a fun fight. That's the next one we're going to talk about. It's a very easy fight to wipe on because of the mechanics of it, but
The
most
safety
part-
dance.
Yeah, the safety dance, or the dance of chaos.
This is probably one of my favorite bosses.
So, just to preface this, the pool, it's the Hagen fight is right after a Naxx like suppression room. So you gotta get through the suppression room, and then from what I see in PTR, it's a little sketch on the range of pulling the boss. So right here, where you see right now, we're gonna all stack up in this corner just to prepare for the boss. I'm not sure if it's going to pull the boss yet on PTR, but he apparently leashes. So if anything, we're going to pull the boss, leash him, and reset, and then go in. So the pull is going to be, we're going to go in, pull the boss, and pull him on the left side of the room. Casters and healers are going to want to go to the main platform. If you look at my diagram, it's the red marker where the boss starts on the bottom left. He casts an AoE mana burn, so you want to max range from there so you don't get mana burned. Another mechanic the boss does is a disease called Decrepit Fever. It reduces the maximum health of everyone by 50% and deals 500 nature. Make sure this is cleansed immediately, as you could get hit by this, lose 50% of your health, and just get double crit, and you're dead, and you're going to wipe probably. So make sure to prioritize cleansing the main tank when you see it, topping them off, and then everyone else. Throughout the fight, he'll also teleport 3 people into the eye stalk tunnel. If you look on the top right of my sheet, it's the tunnel on the right with the yellow line. If you get teleported, all you need to do is stun and kill any eye stalkers that you see and then get back into the room. Throughout the fight, he's going to cast Eruption, which is basically ground eruptions. There is a very specific pattern that he does it in. And if you look on the diagram, there's 4 sections that he casts Eruption in. You want to start on the left side of the room because he'll always start with that being the safe spot. I'll show you the video in a moment, and then I'll narrate over. So as a start of the fight, you want to start on the left, and the first eruption probably doesn't start till about 20 seconds in. So there's the first eruption. After the first eruption goes, you want to move the boss into the next section. So after 1, the safe spot is 2. Let it sit for a bit until it goes off again. Move from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then after eruption goes from there, go back to 3, 2, 1, then 2, 3, 4. So the hardest part of Hagen is the safety dance. After about 1:30, he's going to teleport to the platform, become invulnerable, and he's going to do a sped up version of eruptions. The moment he teleports, you have to sprint to the first section, as it's going to be immediately one after another, probably within 3 seconds of each other. So I'll pull it up right now.
Pepe,
Yeah.
can we use the toy that puts a spotlight down to mark all 4 of the spots that we need to run to?
We can, but if someone screws up that positioning, you will probably kill everyone. So really, I will try my best to keep everyone in the same spot and just follow the tank, and you should be safe. Range in the first phase are on the platform, so they don't actually need to worry about dodging eruption.
Yeah, range only has to do it half of the time.
All right, it's about to start. Okay, 30 seconds. All right, here we go. This is where it starts. You're really just running. You don't even stop. That is the hardest part of the fight. From what I've seen so far in PTR, if you have world buffs, and even if you don't have world buffs, it's not completely unreasonable to DPS Hagen down before the dance. We will probably be popping all cooldowns on Hagen because there's not many other bosses to pop them on. So that's something we'll do. But if we have to do the dance, follow the tank, everyone run to the first spot and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, back to 3, 2, 1.
Why don't they have swiftness pot on?
Probably because you don't want to run too fast and then you outrun the zone. But you can pop a greater nature protection pot just in case. It may save your life. But really, this fight's about positioning, controlling decrepit fever, and minimizing the amount of damage you take from eruption. Quick thing, if you're in the eye stalk tunnel, do not go into the room until after eruption goes off. And do not be in there when he teleports, as the whole room will fill up with poison and you'll die. So if you're in the eye stalk room, wait till an eruption goes off and before you go into the room. Any questions? Does anyone want to see the safety dance again?
You do it with the music.
That's a good question. There is no music. Not in this one. Well, there is, but it's just people yelling at each other. I think to
No,
not.
no. He's asking for the song safety dance
Oh,
to be
no.
layered on top of
Oh
that.
no, I'm not. I'm not good at that. You saw my patchwork diagram,
That's true.
and if you have
That
not,
is
it's a
true.
great diagram.
Oh, we'll get
explaining
to
the
it though, I'm sure. Don't you worry.
fight. Okay, we'll move on to Lotheb. Lotheb is a very healing coordinated fight. The key mechanic with Lotheb is all healing spells are on a 1 minute CD and linked. So that means every healer can only heal once every 1 minute. The way we deal with that is we're going to use macros. I have the healing order listed on the slide. And it's going to be a macro that says /raid, I am healing, person is next. And it'll also whisper that person, I am healing, you're next.
Pepe, can you add Fox to that list, please?
Are you going to heal on that fight?
It looks sounding like I'm going to be healing most of these fights.
Oh, I was just have you DPS unless I said it explicitly. You can only heal once every 60 seconds, keep in mind. So
Don't you try to take my
Sure.
crit buff away, Boomkin.
So just for reference, when you're not healing, you are DPSing. So priests, you get to smite. Paladins, you can do whatever you feel like. Judgment of Light is very important for this fight to keep up, so make sure you keep that up as there is going to be no raid healing on this fight.
Pep, do AoE heals also contribute to that
Yes,
timer?
heals
So,
and cleanses.
so if let's say Shost does his AoE heal or Pooh does his AoE heal, that will count, but it will also heal the, like, say, the tank group.
No one should be needing heals except the main tank. Both of them hits pretty hard, and all heals need to be focused on the tank as we only have so many heals, so all heals should be on the tank. If you look on my slide, I have a diagram of your healing consumes and the timing of everything. That's the timing you should follow, and that should keep you alive for the fight. So you should pre-pop a Greater Shadow. You should pop one again after the first Inevitable Doom, which is a spell he casts throughout the fight. It deals 2,500 shadow damage after 10 seconds when he casts it, and then he'll every 30 seconds after.
Do you want all paladins with tier 1 for the AP's bonus and tank group then?
My understanding is it's absolute garbage and the proc rate's garbage, so I don't think it's worth it. But if you have a Nightfall, go ahead and swing that baby.
They're buffing that proc rate too.
Oh, yes. So they're fixing the batching. So if you do have a Nightfall, this is the fight to use it on as a paladin.
So I can vendor my tier 1.
Probably.
Are you a paladin?
Yes.
No, that tier piece bonus actually does help.
When I was seeing the proc rates on PTR, I wasn't too impressed, but it may be worth it just to use it on that fight because you'll DPS anyways.
You gotta be careful with the PTR though. They changed a lot of things from vanilla. Made bosses harder, other things different and such.
The PTR for Naxx was simply no. I'm talking about the test realm, not like
the test.
yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
PTR. The test realm. When I was looking at it, T1 bonus wasn't too impressive, but there's no harm in using it since paladins you're just gonna be swinging a two-hander between your heels. So have at it. If you have T1, let me know. I'm probably gonna put you in a warlock group just to try to help out warlocks. He has a ton of health, Lotheb, so the key mechanic to deal with that is a thing called spores. Every 12 seconds, he's going to spawn a spore. The benefit of the spore is that everyone that's within range of the spore when it dies gets a buff that gives you 60% spell crit, 50% melee crit, and you can't generate threat for 90 seconds. So if you look on the slide, I have the spore group order. We're going to have mages go first. What's going to happen is on the start of the fight, we pull it. Mages all cast one scorch, go to the spore, pick up the buff, combust, and roll that ignite for the rest of the fight. After that, we'll just keep going down the line. Warlocks, unfortunately, are going to get the shaft in this fight because you really can't life tap. So it'll be really rough.
Oh, can tap.
You cannot tap.
I mean, you can just use mana pots and demonic runes.
Yeah.
Problem is, there's no raid healing, so you're going to be a little
Oh, I
stuck.
know.
So make sure to bandage as much as possible.
Oh, I will
Void
do
Sack might be worth it at the 2-minute mark to reduce the damage taken from an inevitable dude moving forward, but it's going to be very sketchy for Warlocks.
It's not that bad.
It's always sketchy as a warlock, bro.
That's true. You're fine. Make sure to just have tubers. Whipper tubers are helpful. Healthstones, bandage. Anything to keep you alive.
'Tis the life, Shady. We
What you
live
could-
life on the edge, my friend.
What
What's
you
that?
since I am kind of the last group anyway, and I'm not on the healing chart, you could put me in group with the warlocks, and they can all life tap, and I can.
This is
Tranquility.
this isn't a fixed grouping. Like these are just when you're going in. Who's going in for each spore. You're not gonna be in these fixed groups. I'm still gonna have the hunters and the melee groups and the feral druids and the DPS groups.
Oh, okay, I see. We're just gonna have to know which group you're in and go find the spore as a group.
Yeah, so I'll show you an example of the first spore.
It's hard to miss. It'll just be dancing around like a fairy, but it'll be a big
Yeah,
spiky
it's
spore.
alright, well that's so right there, that's the spore. Make sure your whole group is on top of the spore, and I also have designated spore killers, so no one else should kill the spore. except
Just
that
to be clear, the
designated
life
spore.
tapping or the no life tapping clause is due to the fact of raid healing is limited, right?
There is no raid healing. But there's a judgment of light, so I think you'd want to heal. I think that works.
It does.
Yes, and I will also give you a paladin with T1 if someone has it, just in case it procs.
Daily, my friend.
Scaly doesn't have T1, does he?
Sure he does. Come
Oh,
on,
sure
I know
he
he does.
He's silent.
Daily.
He
He
vendored
doesn't
it.
want to pull out the fucking nightfall.
Does he have a nightfall?
AFK.
I think.
Oh man, he
We need to
doesn't.
get
I
him
think
one.
he vendored it.
We need to
He
get
can
him a
have Nightfall.
nightfall. For sure.
But I have the healing list, so make sure to get your macro set up beforehand. If any healer is missing, I'll just adjust it as we go. But a heal should go out every 6 to 7 seconds, and then between the rotation, just DPS. Other than that, it's just make sure to get the heals organized. DPS, make sure to get the spore before you blow your load. You'll get lots of high crit numbers, so have fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna take about 3 shadow pots per kill, doesn't it?
I don't know what our timing will be. I'm gonna guess it'll be somewhere between 2 to 3 shadow pots per kill. Really
That's
depends on
gonna
if
get
we have
really
wolf loss at this
expensive.
point or not. Probably not. We'll see.
Shadow potions are not cheap.
No, they are not.
No, they are fucking god awful.
I mean, you can use normal shadow pots, but greater shadow pots are gonna be the best.
Yeah, if you use normals, you'll just the normal ones are just so bad.
Yeah, this is a fight.
Farming shadow pots is also a giant pain.
This is a fight where threat isn't an issue, so I'm just gonna be in full dad mode mitigation gear.
Go dad mode.
But any questions? But it's really important not to heal out of order and make sure to heal on time. If you miss a heal, I will likely die. Oh, also, he self-decurses every 30 seconds. So Warlocks, again, you are screwed because you have to recast your curses every 30 seconds.
Oh,
Well,
I played a.
I guess we're
priest,
not putting up Rec Shady.
You go and put up Wreck Anonymous and you gonna like it. What's up, Triggered?
I played a priest back in the day, and it was a pretty good idea back then that my priest officer said. He said weave inner focus in between the healing rotation. Like, don't everybody do it because you won't necessarily need the crit, but it's good to weave it throughout the fight so that way there's always a cooldown up for when it's necessary.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't the Shadow Priest, as part of their offensive, have a healing
Yes.
aspect to it?
Vampiric
And can
Embrace.
that be used throughout the fight?
That is correct. I will have Alt Smite, assuming he's there in the main tank group to help heal. I'm not sure if it's really that much better. I might put him in the Warlock group. We shall see. He has to be there, though. I don't know where he is.
I mean, he is a warlock.
One of us.
So if you want to make sure Alt Smite's there this week, that'd be great. Haven't heard from me yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. What's going on? I'll let you know.
Yeah. All right. Any more questions on Lotheb before I go to Patchwork?
Lay on hands is amazing.
That's what I'm still debating. I don't know if we want to lay on hands all the tanks beforehand. I might lean towards it. It might be worth it. He hits like a truck.
Well, paladins are going to get tons of mana regen from wisdom that they're going to put up. And they're not really going to be using much mana to DPS, so it's not a bad idea for them to lay on hands on rotation.
I was thinking actually do a pre-pull because fights are likely not going to last. Imp lay on a hand lasts how long? Is it 2 or 3 minutes?
I meant as a healing spell.
Oh, okay. I was actually going to use it for the armor bonus for the tanks.
Yeah,
It's
that's
2
fine
minutes.
too.
It lasts 2 minutes or 3?
2.
Okay. Because I imagine the fight's not going to last more than 3-4 minutes. So that might be worth it for armor capping Hateful Strike tanks. But let me explain Patchwork. My shitty diagram is a diagram of the pull. It's a very sensitive pull because, one, the off tanks need to get on the threat board before it gets to the main tank. Otherwise, the main tank's going to eat a Hateful Strike and a melee and probably die. So, off tanks, you're just going to stand between the boss and the puller. I'm going to pull this up in a second. So right here, the puller is going to be the main tank. You're going to pull it, run through the off tanks, and then stop them right on the off tanks. Off tanks, you're just going to want to pop a demo shout, a battle shout, something just to get on the threat board, and then that'll establish the Hateful Strike rotation. The main mechanic of Patchwork is Hateful Strike. It is a 25,000 damage non-mitigated hit. After max mitigation, it'll hit for about 7 to 8k with Greater Stone Shield pots. So as an off tank, all you're going to be doing is staying in the 2 to 4 positions of threat and wearing your max mitigation gear. Hateful Strike generates threat onto the main tank as well as the Hateful Strike tanks, so threat's not going to be too big of an issue, and you're going to have full rage for the whole fight. So threat shouldn't be an issue, but melee, make sure you're under their threat table. Hateful Strike follows the order of it hits whoever is in the 2 to 4 position in melee range on the threat table, whoever has the highest health, and not the highest threat. So make sure you do not exceed the main tank, otherwise you're going to ruin the Hateful Strike order and the main tank is probably going to die or someone else. Hateful Strike hits every 1.2 seconds, so we're going to see how we do this week with 3 off tanks eating Hateful Strike, just to give healers 3.6 seconds to top off the tanks. I have the healing assignments to the tanks on the bottom there. You just want to probably use your max heal. You're going to want to pre-cast it on pull and cancel it if it doesn't go through. If the tank doesn't take damage, cancel it and recast immediately. Other than that, he hits pretty hard. From what I saw in the PTR, he's hitting for 2.5 to 3k and with a shield, so we'll just have 2 healers on the main tank and then designated healers for the Hateful Strike tanks. If we have Hateful Strike under control, it's just a DPS down. He'll enrage at 5%. I'll probably pop shield wall. Other than that, just make sure to keep demo shout up. Don't exceed the threat of the tanks and just DPS. One trick to do as a melee DPS is to take a dip in the poison right in front of where Skull is on the screen. It'll cut your health in half so you're never at the highest health. You should always do that throughout the fight just to make sure you're never at full health. No one should be healing anyone outside the Hateful Strike tanks in the main tank. I'll show you the pull right now. You pull, everyone's pre-shielded. Pulls on top of the Hateful Strike tanks. Everyone's going to cast either Demo Shout or Battle Shout just to get on the threat table. They'll hit, and as you can see, the first Hateful Strike tank takes about 2/3, over half his health. Next one takes Hateful Strike, gets down to about 1/4 health. Topped off the first Hateful Strike tank. He takes another Hateful Strike. The next Hateful Strike tank should take the next one, unless you dodge or parry. You're going to probably parry and dodge about 1/3 of them, so healers, you got to be on the ball about canceling if they don't take damage or just letting your heal go through when they get hit. It's a very coordinated fight and you got to focus. But Hateful Strike tank should be in full mitigation gear. Just make sure you're hit capped if possible. Any questions on this?
Just a comment. I'm glad I'm not a fucking healer.
Yeah, it's a very healing intensive fight.
DPS should theoretically be able to go, well, range
DPS.
Because you want to try to nuke him as fast as possible.
Yeah, the range DPS just don't peel the main tank and make him go towards you. That's the only problem, but Hateful Strike, as I said, generates threat to the main tanks and off tanks, so you don't really have to worry about that. But once the Hateful Strike order is established, it should be okay. But as you can see here, the main tank is taking about 3,000 to 4,000. On the PTR, what I was seeing was about 2.5 to 3k. So you only probably need 2 healers on the main tank, and we should be good. We don't know how it is live though; it could change, but healers just have to really be on the ball with casting your biggest heal, canceling if your tank does not get hit, and then recasting.
Who are the OTs?
bottom left of the slide is who I have planned.
Them feral druids.
Because feral druids have the most effective HP pool.
Them big beefy bitches.
Too cool.
So full world buffed with flasks. Usually they're at about 12 to 13k. That's a lot easier on the priest instead of 10k. The 3k extra, I mean, on the healers, the extra 3k health really gives them a little more leeway in case something goes wrong. Any other questions? But as you can see on here, you'll see all the melee DPS are at half health just to make sure that they don't have more health than the OT and they don't just get murdered. Let me hold on. All right.
Oh
I'm
no,
about
what
to
happened
show
to the
you what
stream?
happens. This is what happens when you go too early with DPS.
I love how you're showing us what not.
Yeah. If you're DPS, just avoid doing anything that could screw up the pull. Just don't do anything. Just don't do anything. Just dip in the poison. Don't get close to the boss. Don't cast anything. Just avoid doing anything that could wipe the raid.
So
Alright.
I guess for
Now-
Warlocks,
now-
it would just be
now
melee
watch.
cap right away.
This is what happens when you prematurely DPS. As you can see in the bottom left, every DPS is about to get murdered. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 DPS got murdered within the first 5 seconds of pulling. So don't DPS until Hateful Strike tanks are situated and on the threat tables, and just make sure you don't go over them in threat.
Just a fun fact, this fight was the reason why they gave Hunter's Misdirect in Burning Crusade.
Yep.
It was the inspiration.
So as a Warlock,
Wait.
do I actually have to jump?
Wait,
on
for like
the field, or
additional
can I just
threat?
life tap to the
Or
left and
just
help?
to bring the target to the tank?
That one.
Warlocks, only melee DPS need to dip in the poison because they're in range of the Hateful Strike. Range is never in range of the Hateful Strike, so they're not going to get
Perfect.
hit.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. Wait till tanks are situated and the rotation is set, and then DPS can start. Any questions?
Hiding is boring again.
I'm just going back to the stream with the next boss, Grovulus. Okay. So if you go to your Grovulus tab, after patchwork, it's a pretty easily path to Thaddeus. Grovulus is the next boss. Only thing he does throughout this fight is he drops poison clouds throughout the room that grow over time. So you're going to want to kite, the main tank's going to kite him on the edges of the room, but we're going to use this grail here as a guideline because we're going to drop the poison cloud on the grail, start at the ramp, and move counterclockwise following it around the room. DPS should be slightly positioned behind the boss at all times, and the main tank will just keep pulling him around the room. The reason why DPS is behind is because he uses a frontal cone NR damage that hits everyone there and summons a little slime. Don't get hit by that as melee. so stay behind the boss. Casters, you're going to be in the middle of the room to avoid everything. The main mechanic that can wipe the raid is mutating injection. He will disease someone in the raid that will do 4,500 physical damage AoE after 10 seconds or a lower amount of NR damage if dispelled. It will also drop a poison cloud. So what you want to do if you get a mutating injection is do not cleanse it. Run to the outside of the room on the outer half of the rails next to the wall. Get dispelled there and then come back DPS the boss. That's just to control the poison clouds and make sure we don't run out of room and then we end up having to suicide and poison because we have nowhere to go. If you just control the poison clouds, he's just a DPS down the boss. Doesn't hit hard, doesn't do anything else. So I'll show you with the poison clouds. So as you see, Skull just got the disease. He's running to the side of the room. There's the poison cloud. It's going to just keep growing. So you want to just keep moving, but not too fast so you can stack up the poison clouds. You see over there, we're going to drop all our poison clouds along this side and kite them over there. In this video, they go the other way, but you can do anyway. It doesn't matter. Just personal preference. Just make sure to kill the slime when it spawns. Any questions on Gromulus? Really no raid damage. The only person really taking damage is whoever's taking the ad slime, the person who's getting dispelled with mutating injection, and the main tank. Right, moving on to Glove. I'll probably just finish off Thaddeus and then I'll explain Instructor Vesuvius maybe Wednesday. If everyone's cool with that. Just because that was a lot of bosses we just went through. Alright, for Glove. The fight starts before the fight actually begins by running through a poison-filled tunnel. There is a hole in the poison tunnel on the left side. Do not run through it and fall down and die.
You get to place bets on who does that first, though, right?
My
What
bet's
side
a
was that on?
nightmare.
Left?
It's on the left side. I'll show you in a moment. You're going to take NR damage, so it's not a bad idea to pop like a lesser nature pot. See right here? Right here? Do not run on the left
that's
side
pretty
and fall
evident.
right through. You can do it. I've seen it plenty of videos. Hug the right side. Don't fall
Just
through the
stay
hole.
on the green shit.
Yes.
It's funny.
Stay on the right.
In Wrath of the Lich King, we used to try and get ahead of it and just layer that area with smoke flares.
Alright. So after you run through the tunnel, you're going to fall down and take some damage, and then the fight begins immediately. You want to make sure to top everyone off and pre-cast shields so that the main tank doesn't fall, get double crit crushing blowed, and then die. So a couple things about this fight. If you see these grates right here, 1, 2, and then there's a third one, zombies spawn from these areas. They have like 5 million health. You can't kill them by just purely DPSing down. So they just need to be kited. I think mages can still kite in fire spec. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna. Yeah, you'll just need to Cone of Cold and Frost Dove. We'll have hunters also dropping traps, and you should be fine. shouldn't be too bad, but we'll have.
If it is, then one of us just.
We'll find out.
Go respec.
It's
We'll
also
find
good
out.
for hunters to distracting shot some into their AoE kite.
Yeah. So I may switch it to hunters, but we're just gonna have hunters drop frost traps, and then that should help the mages. But for the most part, you just need to Cone of Coal, Frost Nova, and keep them controlled. I'm actually probably gonna have Smuggles and not run kiting because he's a Mara god. He'll be fine. So that's one mechanic. The other mechanics are he casts an AoE Fear. Can't LOS it from my knowledge. The way we're gonna do this, we're gonna pull him all the way to the back. And then healer's just max range. We'll leave Fear Wards up. So you can tank him in this corner. I'm probably gonna choose the other corner, but it's just personal preference. The other ability he has is Frenzy. Just needs to be tranked. We're just gonna have Saf first trank, trigger, get second trank. Just rotate there. He also does a mortal wound that reduces healing. We're going to handle this by having a paladin bot me. It's not going to remove the stacks, but it should give me enough time to have mortal wound hit the off tank, and then I'll take it back and refresh my stacks. The real mechanic of this fight is called Decimate. He casts it 105 seconds after the fight starts. It will hit the entire room and reduce everyone's health to 5%. That includes zombies. Do not listen to anyone that says Sapper after Decimate, you will kill yourself. You'll want to top everyone off, focusing on the main tank first, and then AoE down and kill the zombies. If a zombie gets close to Gluff, he'll consume him and heal 5% of his health. So the real scary part is Decimate and not healing the tank, because he will get chunked if you do not heal him. So save your shield, defensives for 5%. Get him up immediately because he can hit for about 4k crit. I'll show you a Decimate real quick.
I can't wait for the first person to sapper on that one.
There you go.
On rogues or
See
warriors?
this? See this? This is what everyone's health bar is going to look like right after Decimate. As a healer, that's probably terrifying to see. And the main tank will probably still have some mortal wound stacks, so you really have to top off the main tank. After you top off the main tank, get control of the zombies and clear everything. Please do not sapper and kill yourself. Other than that, just got control of the zombies, DP on the boss, and you're fine. Any questions?
Instead of sappers, what about holy water?
Holy water. Dense dynamite is a personal favorite.
If you're a caster, holy water's godly. Add spell damage to that holy water.
It's time to go farm some holy water.
Sounds like you've been doing your prep for weeks, Zelly.
Yeah.
Me too,
course.
brother.
Don't hellfire also. Please.
I just take away all of my fun.
But
Yeah, like
right
come on.
after Decimate goes out, immediately bubble the main tank, top them off. Bop assignments, mages go to town. We have plenty of paladins. I have bop assignments already arranged. So get all the zombies down, they'll be at very little help. Any questions? Last boss of the day we'll do is Thaddeus. Thaddeus starts with Filgid and Stalag. Stalig's on the left platform. Fogan's on the right. Fogan mana burns AoE, so you have all the casters on the left side, all the melee on the right side. Stalag does a 200% self buff that increases attack speed, and they're both tauntable. It makes it easier for tanks. Throughout the fight, throughout the first phase with Stalag and Fogan, he's gonna do a tank swap where he causes them to magnetically fly across the room. I'll show you that in a moment.
Oh, I hated this fight.
This is one of my
loved
favorites.
this
So
fight.
watch this. I'm gonna show you the throw. Don't tank him on the edge because you can get knocked back and kicked off. So tank him right in the middle. Make sure you do not have one of these platforms. See these platforms? Do not be under them. You can actually get thrown into it, ricochet into the poison water, and then we're all gonna wipe. So only me and Oster likely tanking this. Just gotta stay in the middle. We'll get thrown. Everyone stop DPS when he throws. It's gonna be an aggro drop. Let us taunt, pick it up, get him back to position, and then DPS the boss. We have to be very careful DPSing these, and they have to die about, I think on PTR it was within 15 seconds of each other. So we have to communicate what their health is at to make sure they die at the same time. Other than that, it's just a tank and spade.
If
Don't get punted.
if they don't die at the same time, they just res. Right? Start again, or is it just
They both.
It's like the tiger. It's like the tiger boss. If you don't kill one right, the other one will res, and then you're screwed. So just make sure they both die pretty close to each other. Here's the switch. All right. Phase 2, after you kill them both at the same time, is the jump. It is the hardest part of the fight.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
This is the hardest part of Thaddeus.
100%? Someone's gonna fail this. 100%.
So what you want to do for this is pop a swiftness potion, get aspect of the pack up, something to increase your speed.
Slow fall.
I'm going to show you the hardest part of this fight right here. Once they die at the same time.
It's gonna be me.
Just pop slow
Yeah,
fall
I
if you
bet
haven't
you it's
found it.
Nobro, and he's gonna forget to
You
go to
can go
cat farm,
and
cat
sprint.
farm and sprint. He's gonna
It's
forget to
gonna
do
be
it,
me.
and he's just gonna fat bear jump and miss it.
This right here is the hardest part. After you kill them, you got to make this jump.
They
If
couldn't
you
just
miss
make
this
a ramp.
If you miss this jump, you have to, you take fall damage, you have to swim around and redo it again, and you're likely going to miss the first polarity shift, and you're probably not going to be involved in the fight. You miss this jump, you're screwed. Do not miss this jump.
They couldn't just make a ramp. Like, how hard is that?
This is phase 2 of the fight, making the jump. Phase 2, hardest part, make sure you make the jump. Dead person is not useful to the race. If you miss the jump, you're just not going to be part of the fight.
Speed increase to make that jump.
Yeah, you want to sprint. Rogues cast sprint.
Well, I'm a fucking warlock.
It's
Yeah,
not necessary. You can make the jump without it, but if you're afraid you're gonna miss it, then yes, get a swiftness potion.
Yeah, I see this.
Okay.
Oh, they're so cheap.
Yeah, fine.
All right. Phase 3 is Thaddeus. After you kill both ads, it's going to light up. He's going to be alive. We're all going to meet in front of the boss. And then we're going to wait until he aggroes. And then wait until he casts Polarity Shift. Polarity Shift, as you can imagine, makes half the raid positive, half the raid negative. We're going to do, if you have positive, go left. Left is blue, 4 letters. If you're red, negative, red is right. If you go into the wrong group, you're going to wipe the raid as it deals 2k damage to everyone that's the opposite charge. Let me show you what that looks like.
That's death.
Yeah, it's not super forgiving from what I remember.
Yeah, all right. Instant death. That's one person. If one person misses this polarity shift, you're looking at pretty much half the raid dying. Half of the raid on that one side dying. So really make sure you're on the correct side.
There also wasn't a lot of leeway in that either.
You have
Right.
about 5 seconds. So we're gonna pull, establish aggro, and then once polarity charge goes off, we're gonna split. He also casts a chain lightning, so a greater nature protection pot isn't a bad idea to pop for this. Even regular nature protection pots. But this is probably the most fun fight for a DPS. Polarity goes out,
Big numbers.
split immediately. For every person that has the same charge as you within 5 yards, you get a 10% damage buff. You will get ignites from 80 to 100k, so please watch your threat. Get ready to pop a lip. If you get aggro, run and die. Don't wipe the raid.
I don't remember. Does DBM tell you positive or negative?
No, you can look at your buff.
Yeah, it's pretty big on the right side.
See this? See this?
I think
Out of it.
DBM will tell you.
Got it.
Pep, can you please point out exactly where this debuff is? Because I know people don't know where to look.
Well, I don't know what your UIs look like, but for most people, their debuffs are right there.
DBM will put it up right under the map there. You see how it is on his?
I do not know what DBM will do. No one does.
DBM's hot trash. Don't depend on it.
Yeah, especially for the first week, all the timers are going to be off. So I'm going to have to do a lot of manual callouts probably for the first few days. So don't rely on it.
Well, for everyone who plays with the classic WoW UI, where that negative sign is exactly where all your debuffs show up. So if you don't play with any add-ons or anything, that's where
Classic?
it'll go.
What? Defaulted you?
Yeah, that's right, motherfucker.
What?
Anyways, he's going to cast Polarity Shift every 30 seconds after the first one. When he casts it, you're going to run straight through the boss as quick as possible. You have about 5 seconds to move, so go quick on every Polarity Shift. If your polarity changes, run through the boss. If it doesn't, stay where you are. I think this one runs through, but example. Polarity shift. You get it, run through. Make sure you're max melee range away. If you're too close, you will wipe the other side. Too far, you're going to drag it away. So please be max melee range.
I don't remember original vanilla, but I remember in Wrath we had to we would move in a counterclockwise? We'd circle around just to be safe. So if you were on that way every time, if you were shifting to the other side, you had a little bit of space.
The problem here is his hitbox is really small from what I saw. So if you go around him, he's going to probably readjust and screw up everything. So that's why we're going to run right through.
Back in my day,
If you're a hunter, though, I would probably recommend going around counterclockwise if you're switching, just so that you can maintain range distance without running through. Or you can run through mongoose strike him, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it was just to prevent it hitting you while you were shifting.
You should have plenty of time to get through. Just make sure to move immediately. I'm more of a fan of the shortest distance to where you need to go. Because if you go counterclockwise, that means it's probably an extra 2 to 3 seconds to get to the other side.
Bro.
So we're doing run through. Other than that, do as much DPS as possible. It is a very fun fight as DPS. You're going to be doing about 200% extra damage. Big numbers everywhere, 100k ignites. So just have fun with it, but also don't wipe the raid. Do not use Dark Runes or Sappers also. If you Dark Rune, you will get hit for like 5k and kill yourself. And if you Sapper, you'll probably take 2 to 3k and you could kill yourself if it comes right after a Chain Lightning, so careful. Life Tap appears to be okay from what I saw in PTR, but if it changes, just be careful.
That'd be interesting.
Oh,
Life tap
yeah.
multiplied by spell damage multiplied by that.
Oh,
One life tap
especially-
gets your whole mana bar back.
oh, that'd be
So
so
he
good.
hits pretty decently hard, so heals should focus on the main tank. Try to mitigate as much damage as possible with tubers, major mana pots, greater nature protection pots, just so healers can focus on tanks. There will be a lot of damage going out, and tanks need a lot of threats since people will climb quick. And also, once the boss is dead, please spread out. You're still going to be polarized, and you could still wipe the raid. So we're going to spread out after we kill the boss, wait till the debuff goes off, and then teleport.
I imagine there's a weak aura that'll tell you which one you have. Like,
I'm sure there is, but I'm not sure if it's going to be out in time. But as you can see here, positive 19 bonus stacks. You're going to be pumping. Any questions? So that's all I'm going to talk about today. I'll probably do, probably Wednesday, I'll talk about the rest of the bosses, since that was a lot of bosses already, and Military Ward, KT, and Saf are probably worth a little more time explaining. And
So Pep, since we got the majority of the people here, and the majority of people should know about this, could you please explain exactly what my role will be in the raid after I get the 2-piece, so that everybody knows what's going on?
Yeah, you're gonna mana battery, right?
That's correct.
So he's gonna Fox one's probably on the 2-piece just so that he can get rejuve ticking on all the DPS, so that they passively gain energy, rage, or mana. It's like a buff, Blessing of Wisdom, and you also get I think 8 energy per tick and 2 rage per tick. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's 8 energy, yeah, and 2 rage.
Okay. So he's gonna keep that up for the fight. I'm actually not sure what the mana efficiency is on it, but if you're just running MP5, then you're gonna be able to keep that up, and you'll probably be able to just be on raid healing.
Yeah, rank 1 will give that buff exactly the same as max rank. So I'll be spamming rank 1 on like 8 specific targets.
So that will help people generate more DPS and help rage gen and help keep people with mana.
Would you want me to put insect swarm on the boss as well?
I don't think insect
Or
swarm
the
is worth
dodge,
the
or
debuff.
the mispat?
I don't think insect swarm is worth the debuff slot, because
Okay.
we're probably gonna have Altsmine's probably gonna take up a couple of shadow weaving.
Lotheb, it might be worth putting a debuff spot though.
Yeah, probably, because we're not gonna have many debuffs on Lotheb, because we need one for Seal of Judgment, we need one for Curses, Thunder Fury proc, Demo Shout, Ignite, Imp Scorch. We should have room.
I'll look back into it just in case.
Yeah. Will I talk to Pooh also? Just so you're on the same page. Just saying. Because I don't know if have you talked to Pooh yet?
I haven't had a chance to, no.
Alright, cool. Reach out to Pooh, talk to him about your build, but you should be good.
Alright.
Anyone else have any questions? Otherwise, I'll do the rest of this on Wednesday. We just went through a lot. Don't expect you to remember everything, but I will re-explain some of it, but not all of it. During the raid, I'll be mostly explaining trash because there's a lot of different trash. And then we're probably going to pull bosses pretty immediately with short explanations, so just to keep a flow going. No one has any questions? Thanks for coming. We're gonna have a lot of fun this week. Let's get through AQ and BWL. We're gonna put that on stop for a bit so that we can get as much Naxx loot as possible and get it on farm, and then we'll figure the schedule out once we get that on a good pace.
Yeah, I would recommend when you explain the rest of this shit to explain the trash and military quarters because that shit.
Oh, I'm gonna go through the trash during the raid because you gotta see the mob, I think, to really understand the trash.
Are we raiding tomorrow?
That's AQ. We're doing AQ and BWL tomorrow. It's probably gonna be our last AQ and BWL for a while, and then we're just gonna be focusing on Naxx progression. And our first Naxx raid is Thursday, second Sunday, and then the week after will be Tuesday, Sunday.
So is that patch for Naxx coming out tomorrow?
Yes, the patch comes out tomorrow.
Alright, so hunters need to, or if hunters want to parse tomorrow, get your DMF or DMT buff because we're getting the extra attack power.
Oh yeah, they're fixing that. Oh man,
Yeah. Everything but might. Everything but might is ours.
That's pretty nice. That's very nice because before you had no reason really to go besides like maybe Sapper crit for 3%.
Well, 15% stamina is pretty hot. Especially if you're pulling. But yeah, now we're gonna get an extra 360 attack
That's
power.
nice. That's really nice. So
some people are theorizing that like once we get all of our gear and swap to survival, we can surpass rogues. I don't think that's true. I think that's hunters with bias.
Seems a little far fetched, but I'd love to see you do it. I'd love to see you hunters make cry.
I hope you do, because it's been a lot of brown and yellow at the top. Brown people and the yellow people at the top. Go figure. But yeah, if you have any questions, just reach out throughout the week. Like I said, I'll go through trash during the raid since visuals with each trash mob is easier. Especially the spiders since they're all different colors.
Well, once mages get their 6 set, like they should start surpassing some melee DPS.
Do they? I don't know if they just want their tier, do they?
Oh yeah, they do.
No, we just want the chest, the head, and the feet.
I thought their 6-piece was pretty sought after.
I thought it wasn't that great. Besides, like the head, the chest,
No, yeah,
the feet, right?
The bis is the head is bis, the chest is bis, and the feet are bis. If you have
Wait, we talking about like actual damage, or are we talking about like ARP?
damage.
RP is bis.
I mean, every RP is the shoulders by far, but like, yeah, those shoulders are really not. It's just 36 spell damage.
So, yeah, well, Paladin shoulders. Paladins already have their RP bis here too. Oh.
Surprisingly, a lot of shit. Tier and fucking Cthulhu loot. Still really. Hopefully, we still eventually do that eventually, though. Because there's still a lot of shit in those raids.
Yeah,
We will end up going back to it.
We want to maximize our Naxx loot, call Spiderwing. I think you want Spiderwing every week.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully KT every week, but we'll see how it goes.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, Nerubian slave makers for everyone. Naxx trinket, your KT trinkets.
Hunter with King's Fall.
The dream. The dream or the meme.
No, it's a dream.
I mean, you get like enough. I mean, you see wars with Destiny.
It's not an end all be all, but it is a boost.
Yeah, it should be fun though. Naxx should be really fun.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to it because it's actually something different. Tank and spank or circles.
Yeah, this raid's so much fun.
Well, what's I hate about AQ is RG trash. Like, no one likes that. No one likes trash that just does unpredictable, like, mind control stuff. In Naxx, everything's very straightforward. There's more of it, but there's also just very intuitive. And
Well, I just
It's
like this
also
has been the
unforgiving too.
mechanics. Like real
yeah,
boss
you stack
fights,
like 3 axes up, you're gonna die.
Yeah, this is the first time in the game we're actually going to have overpowered gear. Everything up until then was just like slight incremental increases.
Yeah, hunters get drafted. Like, unless you, like, you can get rank 13 and you're set till Naxx. But that's also a lot of classes, so.
Yeah, I wish it worked like that for mage.
Yeah, you know, mages, they're 2 pieces good for like rank 10 and their rank 13 is like
Your actual
here.
13 set's nothing in PvE.
The hunter tier is just so much agility. It's ridiculous.
Get that 34 agility ring!
Well, the hunter rank
because no one else wants it.
I don't think
It's
we
clearly
want it
warlock
either, 'cause
tanking
We need the
Sure.
we need the hit ring from AQ as our offering.
No, do you? Wait, which hit ring? The
The dragon signet.
Oh, I thought you want like your tier 3 plus 34 agility ring? No?
I think we need the hit.
Oh. Oh, we'll figure.
Unless we have like DFT, but that's kind of dumb.
If we had like 15 DFTs, I wish everyone had a DFT. I don't even have a DFT.
You don't even have a real shield.
4% hit.
I don't have a weapon or shield.
We get 4% from our tier, so I guess we get
That's nice.
3%. So we're missing 2, which would be ZG, but I don't think we're gonna get all of our ZG idols before it's done.
We have 3 Thunder Furies. Our main doesn't have one. Rip.
Okay,
Have you
100
guys
gold.
thought of doing like split ZG idol runs where you just go get the idols?
We would if we had the numbers every 3 days. That would be ideal.
Have you tried advertising? Just strictly go after idols? That might entice people.
Yeah, and then we also need hearts though. But probably don't need it. Most of Naxx are not gonna have world boss, so maybe.
Well, I think that's what's killing your raid attendance is going through the entire dungeon, you know, when people just need idols. People are petty like that.
And
That is
they
true.
want the heart buff. And then they demand heart buff, and you're like, well, why were you at the CG?
I mean, I'm not saying it's the brightest move to make on their part. I'm just saying that's their logic.
You're not wrong. People also hate ZG. It's been what 2 phases with it. Everyone's ZG'd out getting their exalted.
How can you be tired of Z?
You get exalted on 3 characters, 2 characters by not buying Bijus.
I'm exalted on 3.
I mean, if you can get 3 healers per group, you only need about 12 people to do the 2 idols.
We did that once, and then some people got mad about RNG goals.
That is true. I mean, if we can get 36 people after raid to go just do it idle runs in 3 separate groups,
That's 6. That's 6 sets of idols.
Imagine not already having your
we'd be
chance
idled
lined up for tiers. Imagine.
Imagine.
Got those idols in the bank.
It's really quick to do the idols too. And if you really need hearts, I mean, most people would need them on their alts anyways, so you just get alts to do hearts.
We have a good stash. Thursday should be fun. We need to set up summoners in the EPL. I haven't figured out where, but I'm gonna scout it out later.
Oh, I've got summoners and clickers set up for Feltwood for Songflower. I just need someone to help me get shards on my warlock and for Mal to summon me back.
Wait, what?
Are you in the summoner channel?
No, I think it's restricted.
Like,
Hold on, I think I can fix
not-
that.
yeah,
Who needs access to it?
go to the raid
Trader.
schedule. There's a channel summoner. Summon my clickbait. Spawn there. We have 3 other people in Felwood, I think, or at least I am there with a summoner and clicker. So you're good to just.
Were you there when we set that up?
Was I there or were you there?
I know Mal was there. I think it was Cypress, and we got a really sick Songflower spot the other night.
Oh, I
And
heard
it's
about
safe for
that.
right.
Where
summoners.
you're out of distance, but you can still see the
Yeah.
Songflower. You're out of reach.
Yeah,
Right?
you can get down to the Songflower, but nobody can get up to you.
So Peppe,
That's
how are we
actually
gonna
kinda
get
nice.
into how are we gonna get into Naxx with World Bus? What's the plan on that?
We're gonna go in as a group of 40 with sappers, and we're probably gonna have to PvP to get it.
Why don't you just get on top of the mushroom right on top of Naxx, and then just jump into the instance? Never have to touch the ground.
I mean, can you get a summoner up there?
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
They're targetable though.
That is a small
Yeah,
problem.
if you're targetable, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, because you can get dispelled. Yeah.
There is another way to do it through Stratholm. There's a back entrance to Naxx, but it's a glitch, and you probably can't get banned for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to run it as 40.
Sure, there's somewhere we could summon like a little bit further away.
Everyone's summoning at the lodge. I don't know if that's the best idea if everyone's going there, but I'm gonna go scout it out a bit. I may think like the little town up there by the benediction quest. That might be the spot.
We should just put a couple clickers around.
Yeah.
And scout them the night of and see where the least amount are.
Yeah, but I think we definitely want summoners and clickers out there because I don't think flying to EPL is ever a good idea.
No, if you're to fly
Like,
Just on a general day, it's a
It's all-
terrible idea.
yeah, the general idea,
Let
like,
alone a main raid day. That's an opening day for a
Yeah,
new
EPL
instance.
force controlled, yeah.
That all sounds all kinds of
EPL is force
terrible.
controlled in general.
Trigger's gonna sit out at Light's Hope and just kill people flying in. I see
Oh,
it happening.
Pepe, you want me to summon your warlock to this spot? It says you're a Songflower summoner.
I'm just down the hill.
Alright, yeah, I can summon you right now. I think we got the clickers here. It's Mal and Cypress? Is he? No. I think the other clicker was.
It's Herc.
No, it
It's
was
probably her.
It was Saf. Saffon.
Saf. I don't know if Saf's on.
Well, Cypress is on, but he's in Molten Core. I guess whenever he gets out of Molten Core, we can summon your warlock there, so that way Mal can get his warlock out of there. But I need someone um, to help me get shards on that warlock because I'm out.
Oh, I do weekly clears on my warrior for my summoners usually, so through
When is
stockades.
that?
I can actually probably get you through. What's your lock's name?
Oh, is that what you're doing when you're in there? I see in stock.
Redwood. I usually get it done in Red Ridge. It's usually a lot faster that way because
Oh, I usually have my
the spawns
warrior
are
and
infinite.
arms. Warrior is arms, and then I put my 2 warlocks on follow, and I drain soul everything I kill. One run gets you about 86 shards.
That's pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
E6. Oh, because
So do
when,
you have a?
when can you hook me up with that?
I'm gonna. I need to finish my new computer, and then I'll be on in a bit.
Okay. And then when the clickers are available, we can get your warlock out there.
Yeah.
It's right above the north spawn
The North Valpole?
in Felpal Village. Yeah.
Yeah, the flight path usually always kind of sketch.
It's right there on the cliff too, and you can go up on the tree and look to see if there's anybody looking to, like any horde there.
Well, that's
so you
good
can
point.
scout it out.
I mean, the problem is you always die. You never die to the visible horde. It's always like 3 rogues.
I mean, if we have enough
Oh.
people doing the Songflower,
Yeah.
it's not that big a deal.
Let's
It's the
go.
shamans you gotta worry about and the priests.
With arcane, with arcane crystals being so cheap, are we arcane bombing to get into Naxx, or?
I'm not saying I have 20 arcane bombs to get in Naxx. Also, arcane bombs work really well on trash in there to silence. Just say, like right before Farolina's room, you can drop them, I think, and they work on the Shadow Ball Volley guys. It's kind of sick.
Yeah, I have some. I just didn't want to drop them on nothing, you know?
I mean, sometimes you just gotta duel someone and then you just pull it out and they're pissed.
Arcane bomb.
So you gotta do what you gotta do to win a duel sometimes.
That's why you never trust a gnome. Alright. Switch over to the actual page. Oh man.
I guess.
Alright. Back in the raid channel. Done with the Naxx explanations for now. We will go ahead and next round tomorrow. And ready for hopefully do all of you time before Naxx. And yeah. Now we are on Hikar. Oh, we're flying through this place.
Just gonna clear one side, yeah?
Yep.
Alright, go right. I'm just gonna run up there and pull these guys back to us if you guys want to wait there while these other mobs run around.
Signed. Come on.
Let's get back to the start on here quick. Over at the first stairs. If we can get 2 pre-sheeped and a blood drinker. All 3 of them if you can sheep them. And then yeah. Sheep.
Soul flares. So,
Kill the one that's almost dead over here.
every time.
And then kill this triangle blood drinker. Okay, maybe not. Kill the soul flare then.
Pain. Silence.
Alright, you can target the priests.
Actually, drastically. I did not. Skull. As I just. Kind of funny. Probably shouldn't. Can't heal with the blood priest. Heal. Blood priest. Those priests heal.
Or just stun
And
to death.
Japan.
Res are 1 dead.
And
Good fight though, was good.
stuff. Terrible. Look, I have. See. I didn't realize you could get that close. I guess I've read there. It's like really close. I should probably go ahead and some soulstone up just in case. Him since our view. All right.
Or is
Got
there
my
a
health.
hunter that can pull the sun when I call for it? I'll be watching it during the fight. And then just pull him up here, we'll kill it.
Probably don't.
Any hunters in here?
We got 2.
Well,
In the Discord, I mean.
We can just sheep it. I mean,
counterspell sheep.
Either way
The
works.
mages.
or sleep it. Have a hunter put it to sleep right there.
I think we're sheeping.
Alright, I'll just sheep him. Good?
Oh, and here we go. Everyone, rule of thumb on Hikara is watch your.
Yeah, your 2 tanks are not actual tanks for Fury tanks. So if you could give us just a moment to build up some threat. Zaman, you're at 7k already.
Gotta
Cheap
pump
oxy.
it.
Heal light temper. Okay, cheap oxy. Oh wait, I got rage up. Can't.
And if I didn't have to watch my threat,
Sheep the sun again.
I'm used to having.
Sheep
Cheap
boxy.
oxy.
Oh,
Back
Scaly,
here.
come on, buddy.
Dispel
Me
back.
too.
Cheap oxy. Heals a Libu.
Sheep the sun.
Heals a little temper. Dispel boxy. We should probably kill the sun. Like now.
Oh, that was a late call
Kill
on
the
that.
sun. Get it?
Get in it. Oh.
Well,
That was a little.
I reset. You know, I just reset.
yeah, do a reset. Whatever.
Whoop. That is the nice thing about Hikara is that in any moment you can actually just reset them by off.
Everybody falls and dies.
Scaly, I would like to note that it was not my fault you died that time.
Did he fall to his death?
We don't know where he died. Just for one. Definitely killed him.
Yeah, we're gonna kill the sun when he comes up here.
Scaly.
Wanna come do
Oh,
ZG
you died.
with this?
I didn't realize you were over in this. I thought you were in Oxygen.
I don't have boxes. I haven't been there the whole time.
Neither have I.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
And y'all want to do a ZG idle run?
I'm currently in ZG.
I don't mind doing an idle mount run after this. That should actually be pretty quick. I'll just here. Dale, you want to go on an idle mount run? Paladin?
How long do you think it'll take?
Most. It's 3
It
bosses.
should be. I mean, we should only just do 2 bosses to speed it up, right?
We do Jindo, Tiger.
Doesn't take that long.
Did we mean to pull that?
Fucking no.
I feel like we did not mean.
Feel me?
What we were doing in Yakuza was taking 12 people and just doing the 2 idols. Just to get people prepped for Naxx with idols. And that way you could split up into quite a few groups. Get them all knocked out so you don't have to spend that time in ZG while you're doing Naxx and grinding for Naxx.
Well, buddy, here I come. Wow, wow.
We're threat scaling.
Stop DPS. I need to heal. This little temper dude wasn't cutting it. Now I'm dead. That's great. He better
I'm
cut
gonna
it.
die. Tank, no!
That's a fucking tragedy.
Yeah, we need a better second tank, man.
Yeah, I guess.
I actually. Or I should probably just come take.
I would just put a shield on, but then I don't think I would produce enough threat to keep off some of these DPS. Oh, that might fucking offhand work. That's great. Is this when I bust out the old Doom's Edge?
Alright, he says no on that. I don't believe him.
Well, all of my gear is starting to be broken, so.
I may or may not have forgotten here before.
It's a good thing I had extra gear that I was just carrying around.
Because you haven't been.
Although I'm at like negative hit percentage now, but it's fun. We'll see what happens.
Oh, are you Fury arms?
No, I fucking just. Oh yeah, I'm not even like Fury product spec. I'm Fury. I'm DPS.
You're
spec.
full DP.
Like I'm not supposed to be, but the other dude sucks, and we have to have an off tank. So
I think you were born to be a meme spec Fury warrior, buddy. My soul stone, which is good.
alright. Yeah, I can't even hit him hardly.
I should probably win it.
Alright, just leveling my axes.
I'm scared to ask. But what's your
What?
skill level on your axe?
60.
Well, at least you level it quick.
Yeah. Actually, fuck it. I'll just dual wield them. Do it real quick. Hey, look at that.
What? It's almost like we know how mechanics work.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to trinket. And our tank is dead. And I'm next. I will survive exactly how long
Guess
this
what?
blessing of protection lasts and my lip.
I need a repair bot to be able to do anything.
I'm dead.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah.
Do you want the disk information?
No. What the fuck is happening? Are we jumping off? We all don't have to jump off. Just a person with aggro.
Next time I get aggro like that, I'm jumping.
Boy, that run sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The problem is there's no real tank, so even some of the DPS isn't bad in here, but they can't go all out on the simple fact that the tanks aren't producing that threat.
Well, now 6 pieces of my gear is broken. Like, I cannot do anything. I'm just hurt. Like, oh, never mind. Thank God. Jesus. Is that you that put that down, Kiradon?
Yep.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, fuck that. No, I got like 7 of them in the bank.
What, are you guys in a scuffed CG?
Pretty rough.
Swap.
Why?
Tank it.
We'll probably do it.
Huh?
We'll probably be alright. if my shit wasn't broken and I wasn't dual wielding axes because I didn't have a weapon and wasn't sitting at 3% hit on my gear because all my shit was broken, I think that one would have went a lot differently.
It also wouldn't hurt to have another heal.
I'm gonna smoke then while you're running down here.
It'll only be a second.
been here. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Just pull it. We're fine. I just saw him move. He's here. Do we have a sun? Okay. Need to kill it. I don't know. We're gonna need another sun. Do we have another sun? Yeah, we do.
That's twice he hit me with the feral charge.
Fucking rip, bud.
Oh hell yes.
You got both your fucking reses, didn't you?
Fuck yeah.
You putting the tank set together or what?
Yeah, fucking rights. Get all practiced up for TBC.
Nice. Neither fucking weapon dropped. It's sad.